Welcome, everybody, to episode 215 of the effing title. I am Big Husky, and this week I am brought to you by Fedge and Rob, who went off and did another podcast with someone else because he hates us. But hi, everyone.
You did?
Yes, he did.
It was for my real team.
How you guys doing?
I am doing.
I've been better.
So yeah, we're gonna get into this obviously last week's games, and we were talking about this earlier, and it's crazy how much of a parity there isn't in the NFL and playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So last week, me and Jeff went 4-2. Rob went 3-3. Fedge still has a 21-point lead on me. I have a 2-point lead on Rob. So,
if you want to win money, that's the way I bet. Because if we did, I'd actually be undefeated if you went with.
Oh, really?
With my spread picks, yeah.
You'd be undefeated, huh?
If you went with the spread picks, yeah.
Jeff, when is the last time you heard Rob say the spread pick that I'm doing is?
I honestly haven't heard him say that once, so I mean, I guess he would be undefeated.
You guys don't listen. Beginning of the year.
That's probably it too.
There's a 32. I see 132 Fedge, but it's not the first number. It's the second number here. I don't think that's gonna win it as much money. But last week's games, quick hits, parody, fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I don't like not having parity in the NFL. I wanted to have some good games. I thought there was going to be some good matchups with the matchups we were presented, and they decided to say, nope, not today.
Yep, Joe Flacco proving that he's eternally going to be a Ravens fan and just letting the Browns lose in the playoffs. The Dolphins running nothing but screens. The Cowboys doing what the Cowboys do best. Then the actual good game of the entire weekend. With Rams-Lions.
A good game? There was a good game?
Rams-Lions.
It was a good game.
Then we got the Snow Bowl, where Tomlin just walked out.
There actually wasn't any snow during the game, so was it really a Snow Bowl?
Yeah, because it was. I mean, the dome is technically the stadium is technically a bowl, right? You can consider it like a bowl. There was snow in it, so. Just saying.
I guess. Okay.
And then Tampa just beat the living piss off the fucking Eagles. So, yeah. News that I have: Belichick met with Arthur Blank to discuss the head coaching job. This is a good one for you, Fedge, because I don't know if you've heard this one yet or not. Greg Roman has been interviewed. Is being interviewed for the Bears OC job.
Because me and Colin went over this. He's very good with running quarterbacks and not very good.
They're not going to keep Fields, so what's the matter?
This one is interesting because this one I know we haven't talked about. It is in the NFL, but it is still football. Former Maryland quarterback, Tagovailoa.
Yeah, it's Tua's brother.
Yes, so Tua's little brother had his waiver for an additional year of eligibility denied. So he is getting ready for the NFL draft.
Why do you want an additional year?
It would have been a 6th year. So to be fair, I don't know if him and Tua are. I don't know if Tua is his older brother.
Fair.
It's been so long. They might be twins.
Fair. At this point, yeah, fair. Yeah, no. So he played for one team, bounced to another one, played for them, and then he was going to bounce to he was bouncing to the U, I think it was, or was it the U or Florida State? Now that I say it out loud.
What, the school he was about to go to?
Yeah, that he was going to go. That he was trying to transfer into.
I thought it was Florida, international.
Oh, okay. Well, it was one of the Florida teams. But anyways, so he basically just bounced around, and then he, so he has no more years of eligibility, so he's leaving. The Saints fired their OC, Pete Carmichael. Tomlin plans to retire as the head coach. Belichick with the greatest quote of all time. He is seeking to coach a talented, in quotations, but in quotations, underachieving team. Quote of the year, Bill. Quote of the year.
I like it.
I like how you put quotes on it, and yet no one's heard him actually say it. It's a report.
Yep. Don't rule out the Vikings as a potential destination for Russell Wilson, apparently.
Already rolled out.
Yeah, rolled it out a while ago.
Why? This literally was 1 day ago. This report came out.
I ruled it out.
All right, fine.
If they're not willing to pay Kirk Cousins, why would they be willing to pay Russell Wilson?
Because they're idiots, Rob. It's the Vikings. Derrick Henry revealed that he was very close to being traded at the deadline to a team that is in the playoffs as of right now. Didn't say which one. Atlanta has interviewed Jim Harbaugh for their vacant head coaching job. Jim Irsay was found. Oh, that's when he fucking almost died. Ron Rivera wants to coach in 2024 and is open to going back to being a DC.
Buffalo Bills, look them
But
up.
with the Bills,
I dig it. And then the big one that happened 2 hours ago that is the most ridiculous thing: the Cowboys will not be firing Mike McCarthy.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's ridiculous.
The most ridiculous thing this offseason has ever seen. And then in other news, what was the other thing? Dan Quinn is being looked at by the Seattle Seahawks, and apparently, Micah Parsons was like, if he's going there, I'm going with him.
If Dan Quinn goes back to the Seahawks as the head coach, will Pete Carroll be the DC?
That'd be wild.
Funny.
That'd be wild. So anything that I missed, boys? Did I miss anything? Anything that you guys remember or hear or?
Well, Caleb Williams officially declared for the draft, as well as Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yep. And J.J. McCarthy as well.
Yeah, no one cares about third rounders.
Watch, someone's gonna be dumb and take him in the first. Harbaugh's gonna go to the Chargers, trade away Justin Herbert, and then pick up J.J. McCarthy. And they're gonna continue their run. But let's talk about the divisional round. 2 days of football. That's all we got. We don't need to worry about no stupid fucking Monday football. Starting it off.
2 days.
Until that cold weather hits Detroit.
This is our last weekend of 2
Oh,
days.
that was the other thing. Actually, hold up a second. Wait a minute. We need to talk about that one real quick. Jeff, did you hear about that one?
What?
The fucking person that was talking to Todd Bowles, the interviewer, asking about how the Buccaneers are going to handle the cold weather in Detroit.
I love that. No, that's awesome.
Did you really? Yeah, literally. And the look on his face was literally like.
Todd Bowles literally just goes, "Well, I think our players are going to be able to handle the 20 seconds of cold because they play inside, and from the bus to the stadium will be okay."
Like he's like. Yeah, it was the look on his face when she said
awesome.
it was.
That's a great response, though, too.
The look on his face, like I'll see if I can find it and send you it, but the look on his face is priceless. Just kind of like did you really just ask that? Like what? All right, starting off though, Texans at Baltimore.
So I'm gonna preface all my picks this week by saying this was my dinner conversation with my wife, so she is doing my picks this week. Just so we all know about that. Okay.
All right.
So when she goes undefeated, it's probably gonna be all on her. So. With that being said, with the first game of the divisional round, she chose the Houston Texans.
All right. I mean, as of right now, the last I saw, they were a 7.5 point.
Is that what it is? So,
yep.
Rob, spread. Where are we going with this game, Rob? We gonna like the Texans for 7.5?
It's a 13-point spread.
I don't know if he's being serious or he just pulled that out of his ass.
Oh, of course I did. I don't fucking know what the spreads are, dude. I just pick them as I see them. And then I look at the spreads later.
Later as in never.
I think, truthfully, I think this game fucking, on paper, it looks really good. don't think it's going to be fucking close at all.
Yeah, I agree.
On paper, this looks like an awesome game, but at the end of the day, I don't think the Texans defense isn't. I don't think they're at a point where they're ready to play a Ravens offense who's going to be getting Mark Andrews back.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think, I know everyone says, oh, we'll see with a week off. I mean, with that team, how injured they are always, the fact that the Ravens were able to get a week off and really 2 weeks off because they pretty much rested everyone the game before.
Yep.
I don't think this game's going to be freaking close. I'll actually be surprised if it's within 2 touchdowns.
So you don't think the week off is going to affect them at all?
Maybe in the first 2 drives.
And that's what I was. Yeah, I think
if Houston can come out and go up 14-0 or 10-0, if they can go up by 2 scores in the first 2 drives, then I think we might have a ball game. But if they go through this and all of a sudden they're just sitting there and it's a freaking 0-0 game toward the end of the first quarter, no, the Ravens are going to eventually pull away.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you there. I think if they can get out to a good start, that's going to be huge.
They're not going to be able. They're not going to be able to run the ball the way they just did, and I don't know if the Texans defense is good enough to contain Lamar Jackson in the pass game, as well as their balanced run game / option / RPO game that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is truly like, if this is true, like their offense is truly what a college offense looks like with NFL talent. But they're not sitting there saying, "Oh, we're gonna NFL." They're like, "We're gonna take this college offense and make it NFL with all these crazy RPOs like the Miami's do and all that." No, they sit there and they go, "No, this is what."
This shit worked.
Georgia and Bama runs, but I'm doing it with NFL players. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna run inside zone. We're gonna read shit. We're gonna read safeties, backers, all this crap. Mm. And by the way, I've got one of the best tight ends in the league. One of the best QBs in the league, and I've got a bunch of pretty good receivers.
I'm going Ravens. I think this is going to be an interesting game because the first time we played it was the first week of the year. It was 25-9, and it was one of those things I said recently. It's like the Texans have gone better, but then also Baltimore's offense has gone better too because Lamar didn't throw a single touchdown, and that offense also had J.K. Dobbins in it. To throw a name out there that we haven't seen since week 1 or 2. So it's like,
yeah. Hey, another thing I didn't even think of. Does Dalvin Cook get any burn in this game?
Yes.
Another one, didn't even think of him. Fresh legs Dalvin Cook. Has he even played this year?
I have no idea if he's going to carry this season. I do know that we waived Melvin Gordon.
He has.
I know we waived Melvin Gordon for this weekend. So
you know what I mean? That's another piece that I didn't even think of.
My only thing is that and it's just the Texans have been on a very hot streak. They've been playing a lot better, and we potentially could be without Marlon Humphrey this weekend. I'm not saying it's a massive hit, but having that veteran, experienced guy back there, that could hurt.
I mean, has Tank Dell, is he healthy yet? Is he cleared or? I mean, let me put it to you this way. I just pulled up the Houston injury list. Will Anderson didn't practice Wednesday. Robert Woods is still questionable. Christian Harris, Chris Boyd, questionable. Sheldon Rankins, questionable.
Yeah, I mean, goes on and on. It's one of those things where it's like, there's a certain date where you have to actually practice right in order to be able to play in the game.
In the NFL?
Yeah.
No, not in the NFL.
No, in the NFL? Okay. Yeah. I genuinely, this is the other thing I was thinking about as well, because I've been seeing a lot of the Raven pages talking about it looks like we want to have Marlon Humphrey this weekend. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if fucking John Harbaugh literally said to him, look, we know that you know what you're doing. Don't fucking practice until Friday. Just because it's a calf injury as well. It's not so for a corner with a calf injury, that shit is not going to be the most fun thing to deal with.
During the playoffs, it's not even shocking to hear people that don't practice. They just do the walkthrough Saturday.
So I mean, that's
not unheard of.
Like I said, that's my only thing. But like I said as well, though, I still am going with the Ravens. I do think that we're going. I don't think that their offense is going to be able to do some things, but I think we're just going to beat them up too much.
Yeah.
I guess
like I said, I do like this game. I do think the Ravens are going to be a little bit more effective than Rob leads on to be, just because, and like you said, it goes back to the beginning. No, the Ravens
you said affected.
Affected, yes.
I thought you said effective. I was like,
oh no, I think they're going to be affected more than, it's going to be kind of how quickly can they get back to form, because they were clicking on all cylinders. And that's the thing is, are they going to be, that Ravens team you saw at the beginning of the year? Are they going to be able to pick it right up where you left off? Then also you mentioned obviously with Andrews, but it will take a little bit for him to get back. And the nice thing they have to benefit from is that Likely's been playing so well that they don't need to rush Andrews back.
Exactly, and
which is huge.
And it's one of those things where the final thing is like Likely has been playing really well. So like if Andrews can play, great. Andrews and Likely are both on the fucking field now. It's not unheard of the Ravens go two tight ends, right? And if Andrews does need a break, cool. Likely goes plays tight end, and he just kills it like he has been doing. Like, so there's no real downside with having both of them now on the field, especially after seeing what Likely has been able to do the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
But now we go to the NFC side of things, though, and it's Packers at Niners.
Yeah, once again, I think this is going to be a blowout.
The slaughter.
Absolute slaughterfest. Everyone, again, these two games people are intrigued with because the Texans and the Packers are both very hot. They're the hot commodity right now. But if I'm being honest, like right now, it's Jordan Love's playing really well. But I said it to Jeff earlier. How many passes do you think Jordan Love threw against the Cowboys, Colin?
Oh, wasn't that
Good
many?
Guess.
Like maybe 20?
Yes. He threw 21, but one of them was the final play of the game to fucking ice it and stuff. So it's like, I mean, you think against the 49ers, they're going to be able to get away with only throwing it 20 times?
Well, that's the thing. Is like their run game popped off, which we haven't seen it really pop off yet. And then also
against a 180-pound linebacker, aka a safety.
Yeah,
when they're in 12 personnel.
Oh, and also, I mean, the other thing is
pop off. They're not a playoff team.
I mean, the other thing as well is that like what they had two pick sixes or one pick six.
One pick six.
One pick six, and the other one what they like. Yeah, right. They had one pick six, and they had one that they took to like the 5-yard line or some bullshit like that. Like,
yes, that Jair Alexander's was at the 15.
So I mean, I don't know if you said that you're going Niners yet, but I'm gonna go Niners.
I think we're all going Niners in this game. Like Rob said, it's because these teams are playing so hot that everyone makes it more of a thing than they are. And don't get me wrong, the Packers are probably one of the hottest teams out there. But I think the Niners are just different level, and they have been for a while.
I think this could be a good game. But I don't.
I look at it this way, though. Yes, they're very hot, but there's also a reason why they were fighting. Both those teams were fighting to the last week to get into the playoffs, and the reason is because when you really break it down, talent for talent, they're not at this team's level.
I will say this. I think that this game has the potential to be a close game, though. But I do believe that if the Niners get up by 7 and then get a stop, it's over. Immediately at that point, it's over.
7?
Yeah, if the Niners get up by a touchdown, right, they score, and then they stop the Pack the very next drive, it's over. Game's over.
Really?
Yep. Because I think at that point, then the momentum is fully shifted, and the Niners. How many times have we seen the Niners do it? They get up by a score or two, they stop the other team, and then their foot goes right down, and they fucking put on about 20 more points. Boom, 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 right there, and that fucking shit immediately, and then they coast to the win.
The other thing, though, is the Niners' offense is the Packers' offense. You know what I mean? Like they're not the Packer. Like, I understand what Colin said. Like, there's a good chance that if the Niners get a lead, the Packers might not see the ball again for another 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, there's a chance.
Like they're very truly. I think these teams are identical. The difference is the names on the field, like the players itself. But schematically, they're both pretty much the same. They run the same offensive systems.
I'm pretty sure they run similar defensive systems too.
Isn't LaFleur a Shanahan guy?
I want to say he is.
And they both play 4-down defenses that don't blitz. Interesting. Crazy. You don't say.
You don't say. Let's see here. Yep. LaFleur was then hired in 2008 by the Texans to serve as an offensive assistant. He assisted both wide receivers and quarterbacks during his 2-year stint there and developed a close relationship with OC Kyle Shanahan. He then went to the Redskins, where it was him, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and Mike McDaniel. And then he went to Notre Dame, and then he went to Atlanta. Yep.
Wait, was he on that Atlanta team that blew the lead?
Yes, he was.
That's comical.
In 2016, LaFleur coached Matt Ryan on his way to winning his sole NFL MVP. And they reached the Super Bowl, but it got squandered. Yeah, so Sunday, second part of the games. Buccaneers at Lions.
I also think this game's going to be a blowout.
Rob's just predicting blowouts left and
right.
right.
And to me, blowouts are 10 or more points when you get to the playoffs. I think me and Jeff were talking about it. This game might not be a blowout on the scoreboard, but it's going to be like that Bills-Dolphins game where you leave the game and you go, "Wow, they just dominated that thing."
Yeah, it could be 12-9, but one team dominated the other.
Yeah. It's like I could see it being a 9-point game and the Lions just physically dominate them. But yeah, I just don't think the Buccaneers have the defense. They play too much man-to-man coverage for me to feel comfortable with picking them against a Lions skill core. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I do think this is going to be. I think this is purely a which offense gets stopped first game. Because I think both offenses are really clicking, and I mean the Buccaneers' offense last week, those dudes they were getting open, they were getting the ball, and they weren't going down. And especially against the Lions, who just kind of allowed a little bit of that against the Rams. I'm not going to say it's the same level, but
it's a little different. The Lions went against a team who had won a bunch of games in a row to make the playoffs, and the Bucs went up against a team who literally can't get out of their own effing way.
That's fair. But the Bucs also just put it to the Cowgirls.
The what?
Was it the Cowgirls?
The Eagles, you mean?
Eagles, there we go. I was trying to... My brain fucking stopped for a moment. Still, the Eagles.
What are you talking about?
I'm also going Lions here. I don't.
I'm fucking doing it. I'm going Buccaneers. I think the weather won't be that big of an issue.
That's good.
I don't know. I don't know which Lions team we're gonna get. I don't know which Bucs teams we're gonna get either. But what I do know is that we are playing in a dome.
This is true.
That is true. This is true.
So for
that's one thing we can confirm. It is a dome.
So for the first time in recent history, the Chiefs are on the road in the playoffs, and they're going to the Bills. Chiefs at Bills.
This one I don't think will be a blowout. I think this is going to be a good game and I think we're actually going to see two teams that have kind of morphed identities at the midpoint of the year, which is exciting to me because I think that's fun. I think the Bills have switched their identity to more of a run-first approach. Not necessarily, again, gaining huge yards, but you have against them now. You have to stop the run. You have to prepare for it, and that's puts a lot less pressure on Josh Allen against a good defense like the Chiefs, because the biggest thing the Chiefs do on defense is disguising everything, right? Like, they're actually pretty basic in what they do, but they're very good at disguising what they're doing. And if you're able to gain yards running the ball, it forces them to be more obvious in what they're doing, because they can't play with two deep safeties. They have to now play with someone up toward the box, and they got to be more one-dimensional. And I think that plays into Buffalo's hands. And at the same side of it, I think the Chiefs changed their identity, where they are 100%, we're going to let our defense win games and not screw up on offense. Have you noticed?
I mean, that was the stat I told you, Rob. They haven't allowed over 20 points in six straight games.
Have you also noticed? I could be wrong, but in the last 6 or 7 games, has anyone seen any of these crazy trick plays?
Nope.
From the Chiefs?
They just sit there. There's no circle jerking around the fucking huddle. There's no Travis
no
Kelce coming in motion and going to snap.
Yep. They are
None
playing.
of that.
They are playing a different style of football, where yes, it's still very Pat Mahomes heavy, throwing the ball down not necessarily down the field, but throwing the ball a lot. But they are much more run focused as well. I mean, you're seeing a lot of Pacheco early. Early in games. You see him a lot. You see Pacheco a lot more early in games, and then
Pacheco running like he's angry at the ground.
I have to fucking hear Rice is fucking coming on too. I mean, he's.
Is it Rice? I was going to say, who's Rice. The other guy? Is it Rice? Yeah, you see him more in the second half, though.
No, Rice is the receiver.
Is he the receiver?
Yeah, he's the receiver.
Who's the other one?
It's still Clyde, Joe.
Yeah, he comes in.
There's somebody else I'm thinking of then.
Well,
but
they
again,
had.
When's the last time the Chiefs ran the ball 24 times with the running back?
Exactly.
Well, they just did it against the Dolphins. They're a very different team. Kudos to them for being that way, being smart enough to switch. But
I think we are going to see some stupid shit from the Chiefs this week, because I think that they weren't even worried about the Dolphins. They didn't give two fucks. After the first 2 drives, sort of thing, they didn't fucking care. That's why they started running the ball more as well in that game. They didn't give 2 fucks. The game was over.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but it's not just that game.
Oh, I understand it's not just that game, but that's I'm going with most recent, that sort of thing. I think we will see stupid shit from the Chiefs this weekend, because it's the Bills. The Bills are a better team. They are closer skill wise to the Chiefs. So the Chiefs are gonna have to dig into their bag of tricks and try to do some stupid shit. The thing that worries me is the Bills' health.
I agree. The Bills' health is the biggest concern. We were literally without our starting secondary and our starting linebackers by the end of the Pittsburgh game. So it matters who's coming in and who's going to be able to play these positions. That's going to be key.
I think we all know where Jeff's going to go, but I'll kick it off. I'm going Bills. I still think the Bills are a better team. And like I said, I think that the Chiefs, after playing a little bit more, like what Rob, what you were saying, they've been playing a little bit more, just kind of back to basics. We're just going to do the fucking thing we need to do. I think this week they're going to try and do some stupid shit, and it's going to cost them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair assumption. I'm just pulling up their. Wow, you weren't kidding. Jordan Phillips went on the IR too.
Yeah, he actually just got eligible to come back today, designated return. They say he's probably not going to be able to play this week, but he's on IR, yes.
That's wild. Yeah, I don't know. It's a close game. I do think this is another Chiefs Bills game that comes down to the final possession or two, but I think a lot of it is going to come down to, as long as the Bills are disciplined and stick with running the football first.
And protect the ball. Protect it.
Yeah, and protect it. Yeah, don't fumble, James Cook. Right, his name is James.
Yes, Jimbo.
Okay. Jimmy Cook.
Jimmy, let James cook.
Yeah, I think. Like, honestly, I know the secondaries, but you can't have all of them banged up. But I do think if there is a game for the secondary to be banged up, this is it, because the Chiefs don't have a deep threat. You don't need to play a lot of nickel, and I probably wouldn't play a lot of nickel against them. They're going to try and spread you out, but who gives? I mean, this is again the most the Chiefs I've ever seen them play that fullback that they have from Massachusetts. Like, he plays so much, so much. It's wild. But I'm gonna go with the Bills because I think they are the better team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even with their health status. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bills.
And also, there's just that wild one to throw out there as well. This technically would be the third time that they've seen each other in the playoffs recently. And as we've said multiple different times over years, mind you, just in 1 year, it's hard to beat a team 3 years and 3 times in 1 year. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in the playoffs in 4 years.
And honestly, something we haven't talked about. It'll be. I'm not saying it's going to affect him. I'm not saying it will, won't, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see how Patrick Mahomes does in his first true road playoff game.
Yes.
He's played at neutral sites. Has never played a true road playoff game. Not saying it will affect him. Just interesting. Something interesting.
Yes, it's a factor we have to take in because it's just something that's never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Edge, I'm assuming you're taking Bills.
I am taking the Bills.
Yep.
I am.
All right. So with that being said, now what is the kind of the bold take of?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Last week's bold take for me. I don't think there was a single game decided by a game-winning field goal, so that one kind of flopped for me.
Yeah, I said one of the coaches was going to get fired, and
I didn't predict this, but I'm going to say this week,
okay.
even off my picks, I will say this week all home teams will win.
All home teams win.
And I didn't even pick that, but I think that could easily happen.
I'm going to say that
I am absolutely baffled that this is the first road playoff game he's ever played.
Yeah.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
He's always had the number 1 seed, or they've lost.
And I mean,
And he's never been to Buffalo either.
Yeah.
With fans.
I just assumed that he
yeah, no, bro.
in that first year at 19, he didn't go to New England.
Nope.
He didn't go to Indy.
Nope.
Jesus.
That's wild, right?
He didn't go.
A lot easier to win at home, Rob. A lot easier to win at home.
Well, especially in Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. If it is let's say the Ravens do win, and let's just say the Chiefs do win, that means back-to-back weeks they're going to Buffalo and then they go to Baltimore. Like touche on them if they fucking make it through that fucking blitzkrieg of fucking away
you
games.
can say the same thing with the Texans, dude.
Yeah.
If the Texans fucking win, dude, they're going to Baltimore and then to Buffalo. Again, if they get through that, fucking more power to them. You know?
Too fucking shake.
That's a tough gauntlet either way. I mean, they're really the top 3 seeds in the AFC. Those are tough places to play. You know what I mean? It's just, but yeah. What are you guys' bold predictions? What do you got?
Oh man.
Running backs will account for over 10 touchdowns this week.
Wow.
The era of the running back is not dead.
Um,
And I think it's kind of wild because I think this is probably the one playoff year where the running backs are actually very important to all these teams.
Yes.
Yep.
The only team that I don't think the running back might not score is Baltimore. Every other team, running backs are going to be huge.
You think so? See, I would
Yeah.
say Buffalo more so than Baltimore, dude.
Yeah, Gus almost is guaranteed a touchdown a game. It almost feels like.
I feel like Josh Allen. If you're gonna score, it's gonna be Josh Allen, probably. But I could be wrong.
You know what? That's gonna be my one. A quarterback will score a rushing touchdown in every game.
In every game?
In every game. One of these quarterbacks in every single game, a quarterback will score a rushing touchdown.
Every quarterback, or just one in each game?
Just one in each game.
Okay, so it's like Lamar Jackson,
Yep.
Josh Allen, Baker,
Baker, and Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Okay, all right.
No,
Yeah, I mean, Brock's not. What do you say?
Dude, Jordan Love doesn't really scramble.
That's fine. It's the playoffs, Rob. You got it. Can't hold it back now.
It ain't because he holds it back. So he's not that fast.
Can't hold anything back now,
I
Rob.
don't need it to be fast. I'm sneaking from the one.
Please. By the way, whatever happened to AJ Dillon? Is he hurt?
I was wondering the same
Yes,
thing,
he
actually.
He is.
Is he okay? Is he at home playing a farming simulator?
Probably.
Love it. All right, so everyone, there is our picks for the divisional round, right there. Let us know what you guys picked down in the comments down below. Final statements, Fetch.
It's not worth winning if you can't win big.
Well, you're Rob, not Fetch.
Oh.
I said Fetch first, and then I was going to say you.
Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
Rob?
Detroit is going to win their second playoff game.
At home.
Yeah, not just anywhere. At home.
At home. I love you all. As always, depending on where you are, morning, after, even night, still trouble. Stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Later.
Bye.
Peace.